a dialogue box came up. I didn't see. There we go. And there we are. And we are on our final chapter of Ruth. It makes me think that there should be a video including just about all the laws that we've covered here, because I'm sure that they're forgotten. A lot of them have been lost in the mix of what's been talked about. So I'm wondering, just a digest of the laws without any commentary. Because that's what I like to do at the end of a study, is to catalog all the resourced information, so somebody can go back to and learn and use it at their leisure. Yeah. So what's up, Deb? How you doing? Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be
Everybody.
The necklace.
Huh?
I'm admiring the necklace.
Are you admiring necklace?
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing up the necklace, because that gives me an excuse to show it off. I'm gonna bring it down. Bring it on down. This necklace was created by a good friend of mine on Facebook. His name is Yahir El. Oh, I know how to say his name wrong. Yahir El Ben Sadok. Okay. I bought a book from him too just last year. I don't know if you saw that video. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
I was advertising his book. He's at it again. He's done it again. He's made me a necklace. And these beads, I forget. I know some of them are tiger eye. I think the brown ones are tiger eye. I can't remember. That's why I need to have a conversation with him. I invited him to do a video with me so I can, I'm sorry, my lighting was, okay, so I invited him to do a video with, oh man, still doing it. God dang it. Even worse this time. To do a video with me to come in and explain, the process. Man, it had some nice hardware to it, the connection. And then when I first saw it, I thought this was plastic, but this is actually metal. This many people may not be familiar with what this is, but this is actually very Middle Eastern in nature. It's Hamza. It's called Hamza, and you can see.
Nice.
You can see that it has an eye right there. Actually, what it is a hand. It's upside down. It's upside down hand, and inside the hand is a palm. In the palm of the hand is a eye. And I have a problem with it, because it's supposed to ward off the evil eye and misfortune. I have a problem with it because it's a blue eye, and you know who got blue eyes, and you know who don't have blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why is the eye blue? Why is the eye blue? Unless you have in the palm of your hand the blue eye, and that's the way you ward off the evil, is by showing that you capture the blue eye into your palm and you get back up from you. And that's the evil that you expect is from another blue eye. Yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, it don't make sense to me.
You better let him explain it.
No, I understand the symbol.
Yeah.
It's just a necklace. I wanted to understand what these beads are around here, and what these are and stuff like that. I like is made out of a kind of metal that bends into shape and stuff like that. Some necklaces are made out of just like either string or some type of nylon string, and you can't bend them anyway. But this one,
very nice.
You can bend this. You're not done admiring it. You got to admire it some more. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes.
All right. You finished yet? You finished?
Yes.
Stop looking at my chest. No, I'm just playing. Okay, now I can put my shirt back up.
There you go.
Well, no, I can put it on the outside. That's what I can do. I can put it on the outside. Yes. I ain't thinking about that part. All right. So anyway, I'm back to what I was saying. Ruth 4, bringing it to a close. This wasn't this wasn't really a Bible study where a conclusion could be drawn. It was more of a Bible study to detail what was before our eyes and hopefully get a glimmer into Hebraic lifestyle and understand their way of culture and their politics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think this gave us great insight into. More so than any other book, I would say. More so, I know in the book of Kings, you got, I'm sorry. Let me fix this. I know in the book of Kings, okay. In the book of Kings and Samuel and stuff like that, you have, of course, those books are about political figures, so you have more political aspects of Hebraic life. But this is in between prehistoric, no, I'm not going to say prehistoric, but new history life and, no, not old history life and new history life, okay? And it shows a transition in how they interpreted the Torah for themselves, because in Torah it's up to personal interpretation, and it has to be.
Yeah.
And it's up to the interpretation of the elders, and what the elders of Israel of the tribes decided is what they agreed to is what the rest of Israel was to follow. And I don't think that concept is respected enough or used enough among us modern students of the book anymore.
Yeah.
We look at elders as our equals. We look at elders as beneath us because they don't have the same bodily function as we do. So we look at them as invalids, and would you please just go in somewhere and die and get out the way,
Mm-hmm.
using our resources. Yeah. So anyway, I think I did enough preamble to the Bible study, but
Going back up here was we were looking at commandments. The commandments are we not really many you can find in this one. We were looking at the commandments. And
commandments? I found
were we looking at that? Doing before with the others, we were looking at the laws. The laws and the commandments. That's what we did with the previous one.
I found a boatload of laws in the whole book of Ruth. It's like more laws than it's inundated with laws. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you get them confused with Genesis, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm talking about everything from the Levirate laws to the laws of redemption, redeeming land, redeeming property, reaping, sowing, gleaning. I mean, it's all sorts of laws. I mean, maybe not the ones that we can use so much today. I don't really know any that we can really use today. I mean, of any book. But this is not the first. This is the first of many other books we have to discover. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, now we got 2 books about women, specifically about women. We got Ruth and we got Esther. Now, if we were to go to Esther, I don't think Esther would have been as fulfilling as Ruth would have been as far as introducing us to the Torah. There wouldn't be that many. Esther is not a book about the Torah because they can't live Torah in Persia.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they are. They're in Persia, and one of the things about I try to tell the so-called wannabe Hebrews is that listen, you can't do this stuff in another land. Yeah, you can go ahead and keep your Sabbath if you want to. That might be fun. I understand. Go ahead and keep that Sabbath. That's cool. But the Sabbath is for Israel living. You can go ahead and not eat swine. That's cool. It's your prerogative not to eat swine. I don't care if you was in Israel, if you're not in Israel. You want to not eat swine, that's up to you. But people don't understand that the foods that we're told we can eat, we're told we can eat them is because they are sacrificially accepted. Those are animals that would be offered to God first before consuming them. So, I mean, but not all of them. I kind of take that back. I kind of say that with tongue in cheek. I take that kind of back because we're made privy to the fact that we could eat insects and we could eat, basically insects. If they have a certain amount of legs, we can eat them. That's why I don't know if you've been paying attention to my YouTube, my Facebook page, but lately I've been showing videos of people cooking different bugs. I don't think you've seen it.
No.
Yeah, they've been showing like some Asian women were cooking some tarantulas,
Yeah.
and another Asian woman was cooking some grasshoppers. I want to try grasshoppers. I don't know about the tarantulas. I don't know if they. I want to say clean, but I don't want to use that term because that term is overused to the point where the brain is numb as far as what that means. I want to say, as far as temple-y, that's not even a word. As far as sacrificially accepted. Yeah. All right, I babbled enough. Let's get started. Let me go over here. Just bear with me, and I'm going to go to plan B. All right. Plan B. We're on plan C or D right now, right?
C.
C? Yeah, actually it's D in my mind. But okay, it's all good. All right. Did you pray before we get started? Not right now, but did you pray before?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's something I have something against praying on the camera.
Really?
I'm like, you should have done that before you got on camera, dude. To be prepared for what you're going to be doing now. And it's not like everybody needs to hear you pray. Nobody's really impressed with the stuff you say during prayer. That's why I believe in secret prayer. Praying off camera.
Closet prayer.
Closet prayer, yeah. Closet prayer. Yeah, that's a good term. Exactly. All right, now, sWordSmith, Wandelian Bible Study, Ruth chapter 4. Let us begin. And Boaz went up to the gate and sat there, and behold, the relative passed by, of whom Boaz spoke. And Boaz said to him, turn aside, sit down here, such a one. And he turned aside and sat down. Now I'm going to focus on the word gate because when I look at this verse, I look at what is Torah relative. What can be considered Torah relative? Gate is Torah relative. There's some laws concerning the gate, as well as some understanding about the Hebraic culture by focusing on the gate and what it is and what it means in Scripture. And it's not what we think it means 100%. Okay, and then relative, that's also a focus, but we're gonna deal with relative again later on in this chapter. So I reserve that so I can just focus on one thing. So Boaz is up at the gate. You see the relatives that he needs to have a conference with. He sees them pass by, all right, and so he speaks to him and he invites him to have a seat. And there came, I'm going to focus on Genesis 19:1 as far as what the explanation of what the gate means. Hold on, Deb. Someone named Deb just texted me. That's the ringtone I have for them. So if you thought about doing this incognito, I just ruined your plan. Let's see. Okay. Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at evening. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. All right. So, Lot, I'm not trying to imitate an English accent or nothing like that. I'm trying to say his name right, which is Lot. Law. It's that O is long. It's Lot. Lot. Okay. Oh, I think my lost Deb or something. I guess I don't know. Let me see what happens. I don't even hear her commenting. What the heck happened? Huh?
Lord. I'm pronouncing it.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks for reminding me. Okay, let me go back. Thanks for reminding me. The page isn't shared. Let me go ahead and share it. I thought my screen was shared. Can you see my screen? Huh?
No.
Huh?
No.
You can't? Okay. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. It's because I got this. It's because okay. I got the screen on presentation mode. That could be why you don't see it. Do you see it now?
No.
You do?
Yes.
All right, now we're cooking with grease.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of our plans have failed. And now we got a little success going here. All right, so let me put this up to this corner because it shows the camera again. I don't want to see that. Okay, good. Okay, so Lot. Let's go back to Lot. This brother is at the gate of Sodom. Sodom. I got to say that right. Sodom. He's at the gate of Sodom, and he just okay. What people will do, especially prestigious people like elders or mainly your elders, would be your politicians of the cities in the Middle East, unless there were no such thing as elected officials, but there were kings
Mm-hmm.
who were known for handling matters of the gate. The gate played a wide variety of roles in Israeli society. As far as I'm trying to think of its equivalent here in the United States, but it's really hard, especially here in DC. Stuff was scattered all over the place, but the gate was one central location where a lot of different matters were addressed. And one is a matter that Boaz himself is there to address. I'm gonna keep on going. We'll run into some more information about it and hopefully get a well-rounded understanding of what the gate is.
Okay.
The gate. I'm gonna say this about the gate because I don't think none of the verses I'm gonna mention are gonna mention this. The gate was at where the okay. So there's a wall. There's a wall surrounding the city or whatever, and the way you get into that city is through the gate. So that gate was like a protective measure, so to speak, to a certain degree. It was also a place where political matters were political, judicial, and civic matters were addressed. You know, it was also a place where capital punishment took place too. Okay, and it was also a place where if you had to be excommunicated, you had to live on the other side of too. All right, because there were some certain forms of uncleanness that you could not be among the people. you had to go outside the gate and live there, an exclusion for the term of cleansing. Then you could be allowed back in. And usually the term of cleansing was 7 days. All right. Deuteronomy. What'd I do? I missed something. Let me get back. I'm just trying to roll with the punches today, y'all. Okay. Okay, now it's working. All right, Genesis 23:10. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth. And Ephron, the Hittite, answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in at the gate of his city. Now, I don't know how many times people have read this, or when people read the word gate in the scripture, in their mind, they're thinking of something else, like they equivalent the word gate to like an American gate, like, this is just the entrance of a fence. But I want them to understand that it holds more of a meaning than just an entrance. It's a place where matters are actually handled. It's a very important place within a city. I would venture to say even a capital of a city, but I have some evidence to support that, but I don't have all the evidence I would like to have to support that. I'm going to go with that. Gate of the city, saying, unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of the city. Okay, this is Abraham handling his matter before the children of Heth. And he has to do so in front of them as an assemblage, because he has to have witnesses to vouch for, to confirm what he's going to do. He has to have, if anybody disagrees, they have to make known their disagreements. And he has to have witnesses so that he has multiple standard buyers to confirm that what happened took place. Nothing was allowed to be done, really, in the eye of just one person. Okay? You had to have multiple, this is even Hebrew culture. You had to have 2 or 3 witnesses for many things to get done. Like, for example, when it comes to capital punishment, you had to have at least 2 witnesses be able to, before you could stone a person.
Right.
And I'm looking for my Bible because I was trying to get the background of the story, but I'm gonna leave right there. Move on. Deuteronomy 21:19. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him unto the elders of the city, unto the gates of his place. Unto the gate of his place. All right. So elders of the city and gates go hand in hand, because the elders would be found at the gates. This is referring to the disobedient, rebellious child, and the mother and the father, 2 witnesses, have to lay hold on him and bring him to the gate for him to be sentenced, for a hearing to be heard, and then for him to be sentenced. Deuteronomy 22:15. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. Then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones, that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you. And of course, this relates to the law of adultery. One found in adultery in the city. Okay? If you was in a city, both of you dying. If you were in the woods, wilderness, forest, only the man would die. And so that don't sound unfair. It's because in the city, she should have cried out. And she would have been heard because there's multiple people. There's more people in the city. There's a larger population in the city than would be in the forest where a woman could cry out for help and would not get any because, people wouldn't be able to hear her as well as they would in the city.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's just funny now. People die every day, like in New York, in the city, and no one hears it.
Yeah.
I just find out how ironic it is, but I get the point.
Because people in the city have grown apathetic and callous to the cries of help and to the needs of others.
Yeah.
And that's the place where prosperity is more of a concern. And it is taking priority over human concern, human need. Deuteronomy 25, 5-10. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the go up to the gate unto the elders, and say, my husband's brother refuses to raise up his brother's name, raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of a husband's brother. All right, so many times that we run into different aspects of this law in this chapter. So many times. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's an issue. Well, if an Israelite has a personal concern with another Israelite, they take it to the gate to have the matters brought before the elders, and the elders would be representatives of the tribes or the elders of that tribe. Now I can see. Now here's a situation. I want to paint a picture. You have Israel, the size of New Jersey. You have Israel. And then you have all these different states of Israel, just like the United States. But all those different states are actually tribal territories. They belong to this tribe, belong to that tribe. And so I can't remember the map exactly. But Judah doesn't live where Asher lives. Okay? So Asher lives up here, Judah lives down here, and so it'd be ridiculous for us to have an issue, for us to have a court case that happens here, but for it to be us to have travel to Asher to have it heard. That would be ridiculous. So, but I know that there are some cases of national concern that needed to be addressed by all the elders of Israel, so that some elders from his location, from that tribe, had to be present to hear this case out, because it affected the whole nation. But when it affected that territory, what happened in that territory, it was getting heard by the representatives of that tribe. And it makes sense. And I wish we would do that now, that the elders would hear out the concerns of a location. But no, I take that back, because the elders nowadays are not even concerned the least with their religious responsibility to mankind. And they're just happy letting everyone exist on their own, to their own. And you don't understand. Like when I'm going out and about, I see children doing the most abased things, and right in the front of the face of elders. The elders are too busy looking to the side or overlooking what is done by the children. And there's no upbringing by the elders. There's no help to raise them by the external elders. So they're just, and it's causing a corruption in our society by the elders not standing up to do what is required of elders to do.
How many elders are afraid of the children?
I think the elders. I think what's happening is this. Because I know I had a confrontation with a young kid, and he was taller than me and everything. He was like in his 20s maybe. I had a confrontation with a kid out in the parking lot of my condominium, and I was ready to fight him. And I would have fought him and not been afraid if I lost or whatever. But he cursed my mother out in my face, and that made me get in his face. Okay, my mother's afraid of dogs, and he had a dog run down the steps of the complex, and just the dog was not even thinking about my mom, but I know she's scared of dogs, right? The dog just want to go outside and pee. But I was telling him, look, man, you need to lock your put the dog on a leash. The bylaws of the condominium makes that prohibited for your dog to wander around freely like this. I don't care if he had to go pee. You could have walked him down the steps faster with a leash on him. And besides that, you just said F you to my mother. We got us a problem. But I got some health concerns, so I wasn't really big and bad and as aggressive as I wanted to be. So I did escalate the situation, but there was no letting down. I wasn't scared of his punk. I wasn't scared of his behind. You know what I'm saying? So I understand them being afraid that they might have a gun because these kids nowadays don't rely on a fist like we used to. We used to, it was about fists because we couldn't get our hands on no weapons. Nor was weapons a solution for our problems. We just wanted to fight, make up, get over with, and solve the problem, right? And I think what it is that elders are have multiple people to be afraid of. They have adults. They have the parents of the children to be afraid of, because if you say you correct a child, the parents for some reason feel it's their responsibility to get in and defend that child, no matter what that child is doing. I'm like, what's wrong with you? For a case in point, has to do with my condominium again. Where I live, there's neighbors up above me that you can hear every single footstep they make. And so they had some children that come to visit them, whatever. And these kids were just stomping on the floor and just rustling. It sounded like they were rustling. Falling on the floor, making all this noise, right? And so I took my broomstick and hit the top of the ceiling. And I said, y'all need to go somewhere and sit the fuck down, right? And so, then she comes by. I hear her walking over to the spot. Then she wants to stop on the floor right above that spot as if to defend what they're doing. I'm like, no, your kids are disrespecting your house. They are disrespecting your house, and not only that, the sounds of them disrespecting your house is interfering with my household. So get a hold of what your job is supposed to be doing for the children and stop trying to be retaliatory and get back at what I'm doing, trying to correct them for you not correcting them. I'm doing your job, So you got the adults want to come in and retaliate and defend the children, and which makes adults afraid to be embarrassed. They don't want to deal with the situation, And besides that, if you, in my day, elders got involved. Elders, they caught you down the street doing something, you got an earful from them. Sometimes they put their hands on you. And then they send you home. And it was just in you to be obedient, to go home. And then when you got home, you found out that they've been on the phone with your grandparents or your parents or whatever. And then you got another talking to when you got home. Or you got disciplined another way. But so we had more. See, that was when the black community was a lot more together than what it is now.
They were family. That's when the community was family.
It was family. Exactly.
Everybody on that street, I don't care who it was. They were either auntie, cousin, wasn't by blood, but because you were in that community, like you said, the lady up the street, she became your aunt. Because if you messed up there, she had the right to spank your behind and then send you home to get another one. So,
And she felt the confidence to do that because all the parents were in agreement.
exactly.
If my kid is getting out of hand and they're not within my supervision or within my vision, you have the hey look.
You have the right.
It's like an unspoken rule, you know.
Yeah.
It's like unspoken.
Yeah.
It was just okay, and so I can imagine elders felt a lot more comfortable voicing what's righteous, voicing what is righteous to a child then than they do now, because they could be speaking truth from the bottom to the top. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, and still get earful from the parents.
Right.
Nobody want to do that. Nobody feel like getting disrespected. Don't nobody know how crazy these people are who full of Jerry Springer episodes and all these different reality shows where people are acting crazy and foolish and stuff like that. So they understand that if people are liable to go off and do some of the craziest things they've ever done, you know, in violent ways. So I do understand that. But somebody's got to step up and be brave, pull on a bulletproof vest, and go out here and whoop some tail. I'm just saying. All right, Joshua 20:4. And when he doth flee unto one of those cities, and when he that doth flee unto one of those cities shall stand at the entering of the gate of the city, and shall declare his cause in the ear of the elders that city, they shall take him into the city unto them, and give him a place that he may dwell among them. Now, this is a whole other situation. The context is not mentioned. I just wanted to focus on the law. I wanted to focus on what the function of the city was, who is presiding over the city gates, etc. Again, we see it's the elders of the city, of the gates of the city, and we see is what's ruled over in that city. In this situation, this person is seeking asylum, I guess. I can't really remember what this law is about. But this is really not the Torah. This is Joshua. He's seeking asylum, and so he's speaking to the elders of the city so that his case can be heard, so that a decision can be made, so that a verdict can take place, and so that his petition, he may stand a chance of his petition being approved. Going to this. Next. 1 Samuel 4:18. And it came to pass, when he made mention of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backwards by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died. For he was an old man and heavy, and he hath judged Israel 40 years. This is Eli, the priest. He wasn't only just a priest, but he's also a judge. And we see where he, I want to say where he lived, not where he lived. We see where he was. He was at the gate of the city, and that's what he did. That's what you do at the gates of the city. I don't know how to keep. I think I overused the verses. I think I found way too many verses to drive that point home. But I'm gonna keep going. 1 Samuel 9:18. Then Saul drew near to Samuel in the gate and said, "Tell me, I pray thee, where the seer's house, where the seer's house is." All right, so far we have the seer, we have a prophet. No, we do have prophets, but I don't know if I didn't use those. I don't know if I use those examples in this study. We have kings, we have prophets, we have seers, we have priests,
judges.
judges, we have elders. All these people can be found in the city. So, I mean, at the gate of the city. And the city, like, just like people nowadays, like watching Judge Judy, Judge, what's some of the other judge shows?
Judge Mathis.
Judge Mathis?
I don't really watch him, so I'm going back. But yeah.
Judge Brown, okay. Yeah. All of them just like how we love to, at home, sit here and watch what's going on at the courthouse. Mm-hmm. The courthouse, or the gatehouse, okay, and the gatehouse or the gates were a place of entertainment also. I mean, it's where people pass their time. Mm-hmm. They would go and find out what's going on in the city, find out what's going on in people's lives, something like that. Just like we'll keep on going.
You know what it reminds me of? It sounds like the Vatican.
Vatican? Why is that?
Because the Vatican is a city within a gate, which is where everything takes place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's in Rome and it has its own zip code. It's separate from Italy. So it's its own city within a city. So it's like gate.
Uh-huh.
The gate separates it from everything else. So once you go into that gate, now you're in a special area. Makes sense? Oh. I mean, does that?
Okay, because I know
the gate and what they do behind the gate reminds me of that.
Oh, really? Because I never seen the gate. I mean, I'm not doubting what you said. I just, whenever I see the Vatican, I always see the same building all the time. I always see that one building that looks like the Washington Capitol a little bit. Then I see an obelisk. I never get to see the full Vatican. But if I'm gonna tell you honestly, I thought the Vatican was a small city because that's all I've ever seen. I never seen surround. It's as if there's no apartments or places to live inside the Vatican. And I'm sure it is. I guess. I don't know.
Nuns and the priests. It's not like apartments, like living.
Oh yeah.
It's living for anybody who has a position and
quarters for the clergy, huh? Yeah. Okay. Now you make me want to do a tour. I'm sure I can do a virtual 3D tour of the Vatican, online. Not even have to go there. All right. His neck broke. Okay. So Eli was sitting by the gate, I guess in his chair. You heard that the ark was taken. I'm just giving some context. You heard that the ark was taken. Then when he heard the ark was taken and his sons were killed, he fell back in his chair. He was fat. He broke his neck. End of story. 1 Samuel 9:18. I already read this. I feel like I read this. Mm-hmm. Okay, see yourself. Okay, 2 Samuel 15:2. And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him and said, "Oh, of what city are you from?" And he said, "Thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel." All right. I'm going to give a little context. Absalom was working on a conspiracy. He was trying to win the favor of Israelites towards him and away from his father by doing that. Okay? So, anyway, I wanted to focus more on what's going on here. It's detailing information that is necessary to build our case in the way that a person with a controversy, a person with an issue, they came to the king for judgment, so they would go to the gate. Now, Absalom was on the way to the gate. You know what I'm saying? If there was a road leading up to the gate or a path leading up to the gate, Absalom would be standing alongside it somewhere, trying to get the people before they got to the gate, say, "Hey, what's the problem? Hey, let me solve that for you. I'm the king's son. I got your back." And then try to win the favor of the people towards him. Mm-hmm. Move right along. 2. And Boaz took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, sit you here. And they sat down. I'm trying to read underneath this camera. And they sat down. I'm trying to read underneath, under this video. Okay. So Deuteronomy 22:15 and 17. Then shall I'm focusing on the elders of the city. We spent a lot of time talking about the elders of the city in the last verse.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to detail a different aspect of the elders of the city and what kind of issues they preside over, even though we got a bit of that in the last few verses. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city and the gate. All right, so we got 2 for 1 right there. We got the elders of the city and we got the gate. Okay, so there's a question of a woman's virginity, and the elders of the city presided over such matters as to verify and validate. Well, I'm not going to say validate, but verify a woman's virginity. And the elders had the power. These were some powerful men because of their decisions. They had the power to have her stoned. And lo, he hath given occasion of speech against her, that's her husband, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my. Wait a minute. That's okay. The parents are saying that the husband brought an accusation against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. Okay, elders of the city again. And he took the elders of the city and he took the elders of the city and thorns of the wilderness and briars, and with them he taught the men. He taught the men of Sukkot. All right, I forget what the context of that one was, but I don't know. But this one I want to get back to because this is how to deal with a woman who was not a virgin. Okay. And I don't think so much that the problem is that the woman wasn't a virgin. The problem was he was told that she was. And come to find out that she wasn't. Now look, this is a little penis problem, okay?
What?
So it's a little penis problem.
Okay.
Because first of all, sometimes she could be a virgin and he just didn't know it.
He wasn't big enough to.
Right. He wasn't big enough to. Yeah, I'm trying not to be too vulgar about what I'm saying. But there was, okay, see, this makes provision for if she was or if she wasn't. And it's not all the time necessarily a little penis problem, because when you get married, the night of the consummation of the marriage, there will be a blanket on the bed. And honestly, I'm going to go as far as to say there will be witnesses to the consummation of the marriage. Probably both parents on either side watching what's going on. Watching. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so when he enters her, she would bleed, and that blood will trickle upon the blanket.
Yeah.
That blanket would be saved as tokens of her virginity. Because sometimes I think the blanket would have the hymen on it too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know exactly how that whole situation went down, but I know it went down something like that. So these are the ingredients for the case: the tokens of virginity, they just mentioned right here, here's the tokens of my daughter's virginity, which would be a blanket that would show a bloodstained blanket. You know? But I'm like trying to figure out how can it had to be something more. It had to be more than that because I could go bleed on a blanket and say, hey.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't know why I'm thinking this, and I know I had to read it somewhere, that right before the honeymoon started, someone other than the husband would enter her. Where did I read that? I will have to go back and look. It was someone other than the husband. And then when she would bleed, that person was the witness to, yes, she was a virgin. Then the husband proceeds with his honeymoon.
Is that a different culture?
I read that. No, it's not a different culture. I'm going to search this weekend to figure out where the heck did I read that.
That would undo the whole purpose of marriage, because when a man enters a woman, a virgin, he creates a blood covenant with her, because he tears her flesh and blood trickles upon his penis, forever sealing them in covenant. And that's why you hear such teachings like the Messiah say that even if you divorce a woman, you cause her to commit adultery. Because once you married to her, that's as good as done.
I know. I'm just telling you, when you were saying there had to be and that made me remember. Right, I read that. But
yeah, that must be some. If that's the case, that would have been a European implant or something. That would mean that she now has a covenant with the person who took her virginity, and it's something magical about the man that takes a woman's virginity, and you rob him of that by doing such a thing. So I don't know if that was by a scholar who did some halfway research and made up the rest type of stuff. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't doubt that you read that. Judges already read that already. Okay. Deuteronomy 21, 31, 30, Deuteronomy 21, 3 through 4. And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city, shall take an heifer that hath not been wrought with, which hath not drawn in the yoke. And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown, and shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley. Then shall his father and mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of the city and unto the gate of this place. Okay. Woo. I don't remember what that law is about specifically. Huh. Okay, but anyway, I was going to get into the whole heifer thing, but I don't think I should. I should focus on the the elders are almost like it's as if they serve double duties. It's almost like the priests of the city, as well as the counselors of the city, as well as the judicial branch of the city. Let me go there. Deuteronomy 22:18, and the elders of the city shall take the man and chastise him. They're also the administrators of punishment as well. Not just capital punishment, but I think they were also responsible for lashing. Lashing was a discipline of the law. I believe you got 39 lashes. 39 lashes. They will whip you too. Give them a lot of control. Give them a lot of power. And I guess what happened to where we wind up to where we are now is that elders abuse their power. And I know that that's a problem we have today in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Those in leadership in the Catholic Church
Yes.
are using it to take advantage of the congregations that they lead. Deuteronomy 25:8. Then the elders of his city called him and speak unto him, and if he stand to it and say, I will not take her. This is referring to something regarding this story, because it's about the left-right marriage again. If the husband refuses to take that woman, because this is prerogative, if he wants to take her or not. If he refuses to take that woman, he's supposed to appear before the elders. He's supposed to pronounce it to them, stand his ground, say, I'm not going to do it. Then other things are to follow. Elder of the city, Joshua 20:4. And when he that doth flee unto one of those cities shall stand at the entering of the gate of I already read this, right? Yeah, I did. I already read this. And shall declare his cause in the ears of the elders of the city, they shall take him into the city unto them and give him a place that he may dwell among them. All right. I'm not going to cover that again. And Boaz said to the relative, the matter regards the portion of the field which our brother Elimelech, Elimelech, which was given to Naomi, now returning out of the land of Moab. Let's deal with this relative aspect. In Genesis 38, 7 through 8, 7 through 8, 7, 8, and Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. This word relative, I'm showing cases of relatives that are responsible for this duty. Because this is a relative, yes, but it's a relative that's responsible for a duty, and there seems to be a hierarchy of the relatives, because we see that the situation that Boaz is trying to address. He says, yes, I am a kinsman redeemer, but there's a kinsman redeemer that's nearer to you than I am, or nearer to Elimelech than I am. So, and it's not to say that these two guys are brothers of Elimelech, because it's just to say that they're related to him. And the term brother can be used for friend, cousin. This is a term of addressing and a term of endearment. Right. But in this case, it is a relative, but not necessarily a brother. And brother could be a term with a lot wider definition than what we use it in English. I will say that. Let me stop for a moment. I'm gonna go back to address this last a couple of verses before. I didn't get a chance to do it, but it said he said at the gate, he saw the relative, and he got 10 men. Remember that part? Mm-hmm. He got 10 men. So I remember when we were doing the Bible book club reading. Right. I asked the question. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 men, and then there's 10 more. How many men are there altogether? That's 12, right? Wow. Mm-hmm. Right. I was kind of wrong and right about that, but the 10 men specifically to preside over the matter, because those 2 were involved in the case. They were not included in the judging group of men. So I wanted to get on. I told you guys back then that the word is 10 men gathered together is a Hebraic cultural thing called a minyan. Mm-hmm. And I found it in Wikipedia. I'm going to read it. In Judaism, a minyan, Hebrew, Mignon. Mignon. Min, mignon. Min, men, mignon. Okay, mignon. I'm sorry, my eyes. I'm sorry, this is real small to me. And my right eye is, I've been doing something crazy for like at least 6 months. Okay, so anyway, literally a noun count. Literally, it's a noun count number, plural. Okay, mignon, mignonin is the quorum of 10 Jewish adults required for certain religious obligations. In more traditional streams of Judaism, only men may constitute a mignon. In more modern, non-Orthodox streams, women also accounted in the mignon. The most common activity requiring a mignon is public prayer. Okay? According to the term mignon in contemporary Judaism, has taken on the secondary meaning of referring to a prayer service.
Wow.
Okay, look, that's an older that's a more modern usage of the term,
Mm-hmm.
and usually that's for when a congregation meets in a synagogue. They can't start the prayer until there's at least 10 men. But I know that is a borrowed concept from the culture relating to the 10 men in the gate. So I'll just drawing that correlation. I believe there's never enough information that you could go without. I felt like it's necessary to bring that up because once you realize stuff like that, you realize how much attention to detail should I be paying to this book? Because a lot of the stuff you just read over, gloss over, beat Boaz, gloss over, Cain and Abel, gloss over, killed him with a rock. And it's like so much stuff that you miss that could very well open up the roof of your head and totally explain this book in a way that you completely miss. And that people are all too willing to explain this book for you. And they'll do a disservice to you, and you'll do a disservice to yourself by listening to them when you realize that there's so much you already can understand if you just paid attention. And that's what one of my purposes of doing is sharing that with you so that can be done. I don't know. Let me go back to, I hate this. Okay. Let me go back. Trying to go back to full screen. Oh, man. Done. Okay. All right. Presentation mode. Here we go. If brethren dwell together and one of them die, read that already, and have no children, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn firstborn she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother, which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And this is a situation which Boaz is there at the gate to address. In this case, it's the characters of this particular event are Boaz and Ruth and that other relative. All right, Deuteronomy 25:7-10. If a man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife Oh, man. Wait. Let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband's brother refused to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. I read this already. Then the elders of the city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his feet, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto the man that will not build up his brother's house, and his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that his shoe loosed. House of him that hath his shoe loosed. I'm looking at what she's doing to him, and today's American are more concerned. There's a law to an American. It's an unspoken law, but it's supposed to be the most important law. And I could care less about that law. It's the law of, is that nice or is that mean? Okay? And if it's nice, it's supposed to be done. If it's mean, it's not supposed to be done. Me, I don't care. I don't care what it is, because some situations call for nice response, some situations call for mean response. Okay? Because if you're nice all the time, that's all you concern yourself with, you'll be a doormat. Okay? This here, I know those nice only people will have a problem with this. Will have a problem with the Bible because it says this. What, she's supposed to take his shoe off and spit in his face? That is so mean. No. Certain mean things are allowed so that people to whom they are done to can learn from them being done to them. Next. Jeremiah 32, 9 through 11, and 9 through 12. And I bought the field of Hamiel, my uncle's son, that was in Anathoth, and weighed him the money, even 17 shekels of silver, or shekels of silver. I described the evidence and sealed it, and took witnesses, and weighed him the money in the balance. So I took the evidence of the purchase, both that which was sealed according to the law and custom, and that which was open. And I gave the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch, the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, in the sight of Hanamiel, mine uncle's son, and in the presence of the witnesses that subscribed the book of the purchase, before all the Jews that sat in the court of the prison. That's a mouthful right there. Oh my God, that is a mouthful. He's doing what Boaz is doing is he's handling two court cases at one time. Because there's two matters to be addressed, and so one court case is supposed to hear them both. He's presenting the idea to this guy that, look, you get Naomi's land is up for purchase, and only a relative can purchase it. Only a relative. It's got this land has to stay within the tribe. And also, with the purchase of this land, comes the purchase of this woman also. So we have two situations to address, and that was a situation where the purchase of land was being discussed. Right? And I said, I will inform you, saying, buy it before those that sit, and before the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, redeem it. But if you will not redeem it, tell me, and I will know, for there is no one besides you to do the office of a kinsman, and I am after you. And he said, I am here, I will redeem it. The land shall, redeem. Leviticus 25:23. And this is going to explain why. The land shall not be sold forever. For the land is mine. This is God talking, of course. The land is mine. For you are strangers and sojourners with me.
Mm-hmm.
This is God's land. So we don't have a right to sell it to somebody else, especially a foreigner. It gets sold, and I gave this land as a gift to you. I gave this territory, I gave it for you to divide amongst yourselves. And you all have made the decision as to where or what tribes are going to inhabit which portion of the land. So it's to stay within the possession of those tribes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can only buy from. If I got into the law of redemption is kind of extensive. If I got into some trouble and I wind up having to go into debt for this, whatever, and the person I was in debt with took my land to repay that debt, it's only a certain amount of years are they able to hold on to that land until someone from my family can redeem it. I think it's 7 years or maybe 50 years. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. It's been a while since I read that law. And the kinsman said, I should not be. Well, I'm back up here. And I said, I will inform you, saying, but. Okay. I skipped the verse. That's one of the things about the Bible study. I skipped the verses that are not relevant to Torah explanation. And the kinsman said, I shall not be able to redeem it for myself, lest I mar my inheritance. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta get this video out the way. Now go back. Okay, let me see. Redeem. Okay. I should not be able to redeem it for myself, lest I mar my inheritance. Do you redeem my right for yourself? For I should not be able to redeem it. Okay. So this is right after the verse where Boaz also mentions that you have to purchase Ruth with this land. It's a 2-for-1 deal. He says, I ain't gonna be able to do that because I will mar my own inheritance. Now, it's not well explained what that means. How are you gonna mar your own inheritance? By taking on another woman. And it's not until we go into the Targum, which is an Aramaic translation of the Hebrew scriptures. I want to say an Aramaic loose translation of the Hebrew scriptures, and also kind of involves some commentary. Verse 6, this exact same verse in the Targums. The Redeemer said, in that case, I am not able to redeem for myself because I have a wife. I do not have permission to marry another in addition to her, lest there be contention in my house and I destroy my inheritance. You redeem my inheritance for yourself, for you have no wife, for I am not able to redeem. Is a more satisfying explanation of why he said, I don't want to mar my inheritance. And it makes sense, too, because what happens is a man who has 2 wives has to divide his inheritance among the 2. And he is not supposed to give less to the one that he doesn't like. I think it has. I should have read that verse, but I just remembered that law just now. That yeah, it's supposed to go to her children, and it will get divided among the children. And in that case, you have two different children that your property will belong to, or that your inheritance will belong to. And that one, in some ways, I guess for him it will cause a problem. But here is a good enough explanation right here. And I wish the Bible said this, because there's a lot of people thinking that they have a free will license to do polygamy as they please. But this will nip that in the bud and explain that a man is not able to just marry any woman he pleases, but is supposed to get permission from his present wife to be able to marry another. And it's supposed to be her agreement, at least in this case. You know, I'm not going to say this one situation spoke for all of Israel.
Right, applied everywhere.
Right. But yeah. All right, moving right along. And this was in former time the ordinance of Israel for redemption, and for a bargain, to confirm every word, a man loosed his shoe and gave it to his neighbor, that redeemed his right. And this was the testimony in Israel. So Deuteronomy 25, 9 through 10, focusing on loosening of the shoe. Then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the others, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his father's house. Well, she loosed his shoe. I don't know what she did with it after she loosed it. I wonder if she kept it and then found somebody else to fill the shoes and then gave him the shoe. Because we see that the kinsman that could not,
right,
that would not redeem Ruth, he loosed his shoe and gave it to Boaz. Is that right? Okay, a man will lose his shoe and give it to neighbor to redeem, right? Okay, so he loosed his shoe, and I guess he loosed his shoe, or Boaz loosed his shoe. I don't know. We'll find out in the next verse, I think. Loosed his shoe to say, I forfeit my right. And so the woman is supposed to do that, who is rejected, take off the shoe of the man, but it doesn't say what she did with it. It doesn't say she got rid of it, threw it away. It sounded looked like she kept it. So if she kept it, she may have given it to the other guy who does marry her in his stead.
Yeah, but nobody has a pair. They're all walking around with one shoe.
I guess that's a way. That's a receipt to him.
Yeah.
And that's a receipt to the other one. They now both have a shoe.
Okay.
And it's unable to be used. I'm sure if I thought about it, I could come up with a reason why.
Does it say that they actually take the shoe?
Yeah.
We done read this before, and we've already been through this, and my mind is just like jelly.
We have.
They actually take the shoe, though. They actually take the shoe. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So she shall be done to the man that will not build up his brother's house, and his name shall be called in Israel the house of him that loose with the shoe loose. Next, and the kinsman said to Boaz, buy my right for yourself. And he took off his shoe and gave it to him.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah. Took off his shoe, Deuteronomy 25, 9 to 10. And his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that have his shoe loose. I know I wore that one out. Okay. I probably won't do that anymore. And Boaz said to the elders and to all the people, You are this day witnesses. Remember this, they're still at the gate.
Mm-hmm.
You are this day witnesses that I have brought all that was Elimelech's and all that belonged to Chalion and Malion of the land of Naomi, of the hand of Naomi. Okay. Witness says, Numbers 35:30. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put. Oh man, what's up with this? Sorry about that. Microphone fell. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. Deuteronomy 17:6-7. At the mouth of two witnesses or three witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. At the mouth of one witness he shall not be put to death. And the hands of the witnesses shall be the first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. Deuteronomy 19:15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any inquiry, or for any sin, and any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of two witnesses, or the mouth of three, shall the matter be established. And I want to address this as far as judicial matters, because we got some people nowadays who you try to prove a point to them by going to one scripture and say, "Oh no, that doesn't prove nothing. You gotta bring 2 or 3 scriptures to prove that." I'm like, that is not the meaning of the scripture. Whatever is in the Bible has to be shown through 2 or 3 other instances before you can say it's true. Because there's too many other things in it just mentioned one time to overlook and say it's not valid because of that reason. Bought all that was Elimelech's. This is a new subject. Leviticus 25:45-46. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land. And they shall be your possession, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for possession. They shall be your bondsmen forever. But over your brethren and children of Israel, you shall not rule one over another with rigor. Right. This is the law regarding slaves, but this is about purchasing what's theirs, etc., etc. I know I was kind of at wit's end as to what, because there weren't really any topics in the Torah that related to this, so I kind of borrowed one to try to make it relatable. And show other uses of buying and purchasing from somebody else and purchasing what somebody else is, etc. And all the people who were in the gate said, "We are witnesses." And the elders said, The Lord make your wife who goes into your house as Rachel and as Leah, who both together built the house of Israel and wrought mighty in Ephrathah. And there shall be a name to you in Bethlehem. The Lord make your wife who goes into your house as Rachel or Rachel and Leah. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her wound, but Rachel was barren. Genesis 33:2. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Yosef hindermost. Right. So every situation is not a chance to. Every situation is not Torah explainable, but I mean it is Torah explainable to a degree, but there's no law relating to that. But I'm trying to help explain why is this man blessing Boaz with the blessings of, or his wife, with he blesses him with a wife like Rachel and Leah. First of all, Rachel and Leah were two fruitful women that worked in tandem. And they were patriarchs of their family and of their nation. And he, let me see, yeah. Same subject, Genesis 35, 23 to 26. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun, the sons of Rachel. Okay, the sons of Leah were those. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, Naphtali, and the son of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padam Aram. Padam Aram, Aram being the word which is the root of Aramaic, the word Aramaic. So, yeah, the son of Rachel's handmaiden, which is Bilhah, is also her children. Consider her children. But here they're given honor separately that they're her children. But they had birth on Rachel's thigh. And the way to adopt a child right from the womb is to have a woman give birth on your thigh. And that child will be considered yours. Which is what Sarah did. What Sarah did?
Hagar with Sarah. Sarah with Hagar.
Yeah, but I don't think she did it because maybe she did. My memory's failing me. I gotta go back and read that story. But anyway, I know. So anyway, the Bible has a funny way of explaining things, but in today's vernacular, it would be more like have a child between my thighs, have a child between my legs, or I'll have the woman who's having a child rest on my stomach and be between my legs, and when she gives birth, that child is like as if I gave birth. That child will be considered mine. That's what happened to Rachel. So we can see the two women gave birth to 12 kids. All right. Not necessarily, really it was 4 women, but those 2 women had children through their handmaid. And so that's one of the reasons why we see Boaz's wife being blessed with such a blessing, because they're hoping to bless her with fruitfulness and that her children will be men of renown, because that's what happened to the sons of Rachel and Leah. Same subject again. Genesis 14, 19 to 21. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin in the land of Egypt. Yeah. Really, it's kind of just not repeating itself, but going down a more specific bloodline. Basically saying the same thing. Let that, in verse 12, and let your house be as the house of Pharez, whom Thamar bore to Judah of the seed which the Lord shall give you of this handmaid. Oh, so they really keep it. They really okay. So they are of the land. They are of the tribe of Judah. That's who Boaz and Naomi belong to.
Mhm.
So their blessings go from those who head the nation to those who head the territory we live in. But it's ironic that he used Pharez, whom Tamar bore of Judah, because Pharez is a child of a Levirate marriage. Judah married Tamar, which was his son's daughter, but his son died, and he was saving. Well, she was supposed to be saving herself for his other son, but his other son grew up, and he didn't give him to her. So what she did was she posed as a prostitute that he went and purchased and slept with and got pregnant. She had his stuff, and he was going to burn her for getting pregnant. And then she found out that she had his stuff. She was a prostitute that he slept with and got pregnant through him. So that was a Levirate marriage going wrong. So I find it interesting that they relate back to that incident as it relates to this one, because it's just like almost a perfect mimic of this situation, because Tamar was a Canaanite and Ruth is a Moabite. So we're dealing with foreign wives with an Israelite husband. So it's apropos. Genesis 46:12. And the sons of Judah, Er, Onan, and Shelah, and Pharez, that's him right there, and Zerah. But Er and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hamul. Let's give us a little bit more insight into Pharez's character. Show his allegiance to the family, and show the offspring he's responsible for, the furtherance of the family. Now, those children are also products of a Levirate marriage. But, let me go back. Yeah, see, this was wrong. This verse 46:12, is wrong, because it says that the Levirate marriage goes like this. The deceased man, his brother, his relative, then takes his wife and have the seed with him. The firstborn of that union belongs to the deceased brother. Here we see that the offspring of that union was Pharez. And Judah is still named as the father of that son. That's wrong. Shouldn't be. And he shall be to you a restorer of your soul, and one to cherish your old age. And your daughter-in-law, which has loved you, who is better to you than 7 sons, has borne him. Then Elkanah, this is 1 Samuel 1-8. Then Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, let me practice. Hannah, why do you weep, and why do you not eat, and why is your heart sad? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? The subject is 7 sons. Basically, this is I want to say it's a figure of speech in Hebraic terms, in Hebraic culture. And what I'm basically doing is showing how this figure of speech is not just isolated to that one incident. It's used elsewhere in the scripture. We can see it being used not long after that in the birth of Samuel. Because this is Samuel's mother, Hannah, and Elkanah, his father. And this is supposed to be a term or a phrase that's supposed to motivate, is supposed to excite. I got lack of a better term. But so in one instance, we see, hey, may they be better to you than 7 sons. In another instance, we see a husband pleading with his wife, am I not better to you than 10 sons? He's saying it to cheer her up so that she can appreciate him and focus on that appreciation instead of being sad. That's what a lot of women do. I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they would focus on the things that are to be appreciated and to be gratefully noticed instead of focusing on what's worryable and what they don't have. And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom and became a nurse to it. Now the word for nurse is aman. Aman, similar to amen. When we how we in our prayers. Over here I have the definition to it and the spelling of aman. It's a primitive root, interchangeable with H541, to go to the right hand properly, to build up support, to foster as a parent or nurse, figuratively, to render or be firm or faithful. I already found a definition that's relative for this verse. I want to keep it like that. Y'all can read the rest of it if you want to, but she became a nurse to it. Now that would mean in today's mindset that Naomi's old behind took that baby and put it on her breast and nursed it, which we know it did not mean because we know good and well her milk probably dried up by then. Unless Israelites had a way to keep their milk flowing, which I doubt. So Naomi became a foster mother to the child. And I see Ruth is still credited with the birth of this son. Or maybe not. No, she's not. But Boaz. Boaz is considered the father of this son, even all the way into the New Testament. So I know what the law is, but I never see the law being practiced all the way.
I know, because this should be her deceased husband's child, right?
Right. No, because they had children already.
Who had children already? Ruth, huh?
Naomi and what's her husband's name?
I'm talking about Ruth and
Kilion. I thought she married Malion. Okay, either one of those two, Malion or Kilion.
Yeah, they didn't have kids.
Yeah, they're right. You're right. They didn't have kids.
So this.
So I wonder why Naomi's stepping into. Okay, well maybe that term nurse could also mean like she just helped with the baby.
I'm talking about the word nurse. I'm talking about now thinking about Boaz being called his father. Because when you go through the genealogy, Boaz is listed. But it should not be Boaz.
You would think.
It's Naomi's son.
And it's for that purpose. It's specifically for that purpose. The reason why the Levirate marriage even takes place is so that the deceased son name would not be removed from Israel. Huh?
Do you hear it again in the genealogy?
No, I don't.
You don't hear it.
I don't hear Malion or Kilion. I don't hear them at all. So I don't know. Maybe I was going to say maybe it's maybe the Israelites are supposed to be aware of it mentally, but literally it says something different. Maybe in the official list of families that belonged in the temple, maybe that had to document it. But when it comes to this book, it's not documented. And these are not official Hebrew documents. These are not.
That's true.
I saw somebody post that on their Facebook page today. Matter of fact, they said that if it's in the Bible, it's an official document. I'm like, dude, no, it's not. All right?
Not this version.
Huh?
Not this version.
Not this one at all. Because I'm gonna tell you something. We don't know what it is. Because look, we got the book of Genesis, we got the book of Joshua, we got the book of Jubilees, and they all have the Genesis account in it. And then we got the Targums. Well, we know the Targums are latecomers. The Targums are not. We know they're not official temple documents. But which one was? Because we got Jubilees, we got Joshua, we got Genesis, but they all talk about the same stuff. And it's like, we don't know which one found his way into the Bible. They just, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, grabbed the scroll and stuck it in there. That's why
No, I'm laughing at you. No, you're right. Yeah.
And you know what? We could have a book that better suits the Bible we have than Genesis by replacing that with Jubilee or Joshua, because of either one of them two give far more details than Genesis does. You know. And matter of fact, is it Joshua? Or the thing is Jubilees explains how we got Genesis in the first place. So I think that book should be in my book. Matter of fact, I want to take Genesis and snatch it out and put Jubilees in its place. And I'm thinking to myself, if the Council of Nicaea had the prerogative to decide what books should go in, or let me say, what books should stay in, because the canon was already put together before it got to Nicaea. Okay, and it contained a lot more books than it did before it got to Nicaea. So if they got the prerogative to decide, I think I got the prerogative to decide too. So I'll just blend them. How about that?
I feel a project coming on.
Huh?
I feel a project coming on.
Or project already in progress. How about that?
I know it.
All right. So I'm showing examples of nursing and how this term is used later on in the scripture. Numbers 11:12. Have I conceived all these people? Have I begotten them? That thou shouldest say unto me, carry them in your bosom, as a nursing father beareth the suckling child unto the land which thou swearest unto their fathers. Isaiah 49:23. And the king shall be thy nursing father, and the queen thy nursing mothers. And the queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee, their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Now, I pick these terms because they're not usually put together. You know, nursing mother, yeah, but nursing father, I think the term that we have for nursing should loosen up a little bit, because I think we have the term nursing as one who nursed their child with a breast, and we know a father can't nurse a child. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I had my kids, right? I think I had one kid that would do this. I think it was my daughter who did this. I would be shirtless. I would not have a shirt on, but she would be crying. I would go pick her up and carry her without putting the shirt on first. And while she was in my arms, she would trying to suckle on my nipple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, get that out your mouth. It's all hairy. Get that out your mouth. But I don't know if that's what they meant. Because they didn't have pacifiers back then, and you couldn't just pop a breast up in a child's mouth and expect them to just hush up with a, because we put a pacifier in a child's mouth to keep their mouth busy, right?
Right.
So I don't know if the father's breasts worked as a pacifier. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past that culture. I would not put it past them. It's a lot of things that we probably look down upon that they did and called it normal.
Well, it's not really saying that he was breastfeeding, and he just said carry them as a nursing father. Bearing or sucking. I don't know. I'm trying to make the man not his father's nipples. I don't know. This coming
Hey, look,
research.
I'm just letting my mind go. I'm just approaching this book with an open mind, and this is where my open mind goes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's factual.
I know. I'm just reading it.
So I'm just entertaining the thoughts, allowing my mind to go to venture off into what's possible, what this could be saying. I know you know, but I'm just saying this for anybody else who watched this video. All right. All right. Next. We're almost done. Believe it or not. And the neighbors gave it a name, saying, "A son has been born to Naomi." See what I'm saying? A son has been born to Naomi, and they call his name Obed. This is the father of Isi, the father of David. Right? So, okay. So, see, we gotta use the mind to sort out through what this book is saying, because it will leave you confused. I'm sorry. Like when it spoke of the son of Judah, who's really his son's son, it never mentions that. It never mentions that this son is really Malion or Kilion. I forgot who she married. Kilion's son. Never mentions that. And now it's calling this boys Naomi's. A son has been born to Naomi. I mean, we could broaden that term. We could broaden that understanding and say it's been born to her family. Even if it was born to her son, it could still be said it was born to her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. So, they call his name Abed, and Abed means I'm not gonna go into that. Born to Naomi. The son. Okay, I was showing examples where, trying to show examples of where a son that wasn't necessarily born to a woman was said to be born of her. But I think I did a poor job here. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife. Yeah. No, it doesn't do it. I didn't do a good job there. I got to redo that. All right. Okay, so these are the last four verses, and after this we'll be done. And these are the generation of Pharez, which we were talking about earlier. Pharez begot, we're not really talking about that because it doesn't go into who the father of Pharez is. Pharez begot Ezrom. Ezrom begot Aram. Aram is Aramaic. I mean, I'm not saying the word Aram is Aramaic. I'm saying the word Aram is where Aramaic comes from.
Yeah.
And Aram begot Aminadab. And Aminadab begot Naason. Naason begot Salmon. And Salmon begot Boaz. And Boaz begot Obed. See?
Uh-huh.
See what I'm saying? And Obed begot Isi. I keep saying, I know it's Jesse, but I know in Hebrew that it's EC, and I just love saying EC. Okay? And EC begot David. All right, so let me see it. Boaz. So within the same family, and it looked like only about 5 generations down, because Pharez is a product of Levirate marriage. Abed is a product of Levirate marriage. So this would be within 6 generations. Let me see. Ezram, Aram, Minadab. I don't know how you count the I don't know how you count the generations, but it looks like about 6, 7, something like that. So anyway, that's a finish up. That was me trying to strain as much as I could out of something that didn't have much Torah relation.
Right.
That was me straining to try to make it happen. And whereas before I didn't have to do that through the other 3 verses. But we're completely done with the book of Ruth. I have no idea what the next book is going to be. I don't even know if I'm going to do a next book like this. I think I just want to catch up with Genesis and just go from there. Because really the reason why we did Ruth in the first place was because of you in your female group. Remember? Remember a long time ago?
Yes.
You had a female group, and
You still have the group.
you still got the group. But we went to Ruth because somebody had a question?
Well, the group is Virtuous Woman, and Ruth was our virtuous woman. We wanted to dig more into being a virtuous woman, so we chose Ruth. So you chose to walk us through the book of Ruth.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And here we are. Here we are 18 months later.
Yes.
Finally, no, I'm just kidding. It didn't take that long. But okay, so we're done. I was thinking about doing a compilation of all the laws, but I think I would rather do that to where it can be downloaded, not in the video form.
Mm.
I think I want to, because I'm glad to have this done so I can catch up on my Genesis studies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather just focus on one study at a time than be stretched in many different directions. But there are some subjects that I do have to touch on while I study other things mainly. Like I got a list.
You have a ton of subjects that you mentioned that you want to
address. Yeah, there's a ton of subjects because there's a ton of subjects that people struggle with.
Yeah.
And I'll put it out there. Anybody have a question or a subject that you like me and Deb to address? Not this Deb, the other Deb, the Deb from last week, the one that was real talkative and active in the video. Not this one that sat back and chilled and watched me do all the work. Not this one. But if you want the other Deb to show up, ask us some questions, and I'll get the other Deb to come and help me answer some of the questions. How about that?
You want to, since you done threw me under the bus, you want to know why?
All right.
I was thinking we were doing Genesis. So that's what I read up on. And then you threw Ruth at me.
I told you we were doing Ruth earlier today.
Hey, right. But I have been studying for Genesis because that's what we have been doing every Sunday.
I gave you plenty of time.
Ruth at the 11th hour.
I gave you plenty of time to study Ruth when we was going through plan A, plan B, plan C.
Really?
You were sitting back. You were sitting back on your hind parts watching a movie.
I did read it.
Oh.
There's not much to gather out of there, like you just said. You had to track.
Oh, boo.
But Deb will be back next week.
Oh, whatever. We'll see.
All right.
Next week, Deb will be here.
Well,
You daggone right, Deb will be back.
Yeah.
She's going to be here, and we're going to be broadcasting live at the condominium from hell. This condominium is, man. This is the condominium I grew up in as a kid. I mean, as a teenager, right? I cut my teeth in this place. and it turned into the hood big time, basically because of the gentrification that's taking place in D.C., attracting all these unsavory characters.
Mm,
But anyway, thank you for joining me, Deb.
thank you.
Thanks everyone who watched. Thanks for all the subscribers. I appreciate you. I want to take the time to thank you one by one, name by name. I just got to get a list together of all the subscribers. Do that, but you are very much appreciated. And we always have room for more subscribers. And don't forget this. I guess that is a plug to subscribe to the channel. And don't. And how you feel about people joining your group? Do you want to advertise your group?
Absolutely. Virtuous women. Wait, the name keeps changing. Hebrew, my Israel, Hebrew.
Do you need to go to Facebook real quick?
It's the Hebrew Israelite Virtuous Women group.
You want to advertise that group? I thought you was making your own group.
Oh, our group. Oh, our group or my group?
Look, I don't know how many weekends have passed by that you still have not done that group.
Which group?
It's for you to create. I got too many projects going on. I can put the tent up, and you can decorate the tent. How about that?
All right. Well, we'll discuss that one next Sunday.
Yeah. We discuss that away from because we got company right now. All right. So don't forget to like, subscribe to the video. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. At sWordSmith on Twitter. The very same way you see it spelled here is the very same way you see it where it will be spelled on Twitter, but the @ sign in front of it. It's really pronounced sWordSmith. sWordSmith. Also on Instagram. On Instagram is sWordSmith as well. I think sWordSmith 777. Not sure, but I'll list everything in the descriptions below, or above, or to the side, whatever. I'll list everything there, all the contact information. But and don't forget to come and join us for our Genesis series. We have a Bible book club. It's open to members, to people who want to follow. We do it from within a chat room that allows for multiple users. And when you come there, you can be video. I don't know what you call it nowadays. Not I want to say videoized, but that doesn't make sense. That's not a word. You can come there and be on camera or not, but participation is necessary. Bible study and Bible book club is not a spectator sport. And having said that, Deb, I think we held this thing up long enough.
I know. I hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're good.
We are good.
You're done.
We're done.
Any questions?
Good job. No questions.
Any last jots and tittles?
No.
All right.
No.
Well, I'll holler at you later.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
I beg.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I stopped recording. I thought I did. Man, is this thing gonna stop recording? Oh, my bad. I see what's going on. A dialogue box came out I didn't see.